What is up, everyone? It's Ryan, living in Cambodia, making videos so you can see what it's like to live in the Kingdom of Wonder. And today, I am going to try for the very first time the biggest food and beverage chain in the entire world. They have more locations than any other place, and I've never had it before. It's crazy. I've never had it before, and you probably haven't either. You probably can't even tell me what it is, but they have about 45,000 locations in China, and then another like 4,800 in 11 countries around the world. That's more than McDonald's, that's more than KFC, which is somewhere over here behind me. That's even more than Starbucks.
Well, better make it quick, kiddo. In 5 minutes, this place is becoming a Starbucks.
The brand is Mixue. There it is. And they specialize in drinks and ice cream. Let's head in, try it out, and we'll talk about how this brand has surprisingly made its way to the top of the food and beverage industry. Hello. Hey. Can I just get the regular ice cream? Oh, the better. Yeah. Okay. Oh, that was quick. Thank you. Welcome, Tran. Alright, I'll sit right here. Well, that was quick. Super fast. They had it ready for me before I even paid. And I noticed their menu is super cheap. They got this for 50 cents, and then they have a whole bunch of items for $1, or even maybe around $1. A lot of items for $1. Yeah, let's start eating it because it's starting to melt here. But before we do that, let's put on our learning caps. This one. And take a little stroll down the lane that is Mixue's past. So we're working off these blurry images that I found on their Malaysia website. In 1997, Hong Chao Zhang started an ice cream stand. In 1999, the Mixue brand was born. They switched to soft serve ice cream in 2005, and they started franchising in 2007. In 2012, they started their own factory. That would end up being a huge deal for their expansion. We'll get more into that later. They went global in 2018, opening their first franchise outside of China in Hanoi. And I'll add one more, they opened their first location in Cambodia in 2020 on Monivong Boulevard. Okay, you can try it now. I doubt anybody wants to watch me licking an ice cream. It's good though, it's ice cream, it's good, it tastes what you think it's gonna taste. Yeah, tasty ice cream. Too much ice cream headache. Yeah, I would say cheaper overall for the sugary drinks compared to other places around. Keeping costs low is a big part of their success. It allows everyone to buy their products, even poor-bow students. It also allows them to go into sinking markets where the prices of assets, whether it's real estate or commodities, the prices are consistently declining. As of September 30th, 2024, out of its 40,510 stores in mainland China, 57% of its stores were in third-tier and lower-tier cities. The rent and labor costs are significantly lower in smaller cities. People living in smaller cities also have less food and beverage options, so there's less competition. After China, Indonesia is their second biggest market with around 2,667 stores, and Vietnam is number 3 with 1,304 locations. Together they generate around 70% of Mixue's overseas revenue. These are countries with big populations and a low cost of living. So how do they keep the cost so low? Remember back in 2012, they started a factory. That factory produces their sugar, dairy, tea, coffee, fruit, grains, pretty much everything they serve, and that factory now has 4 brothers and sisters. A total of 5 massive production factories that help produce all that Mixue needs, even their packaging. They control the entire supply chain from raw material sourcing to production and distribution. 60% of their ingredients they produce themselves, but for something like lemons, they have to purchase the lemons they use for their lemonade. They make a mean lemonade, apparently. Oh. Hey, can I try the lemonade? They're actually the largest lemon purchaser in China. In 2023, about 150,000 tons of lemons were purchased by Mixue, and their production costs were 20% lower than the average in the country. And they're passing those savings down to the customer. Not exactly. Mixue's business isn't selling food and beverages to consumers, it's selling supplies, be it ingredients, machines like ice cream makers, even packaging, selling all this stuff to their franchisees. 99% of Mixue's are franchised. Their franchising strategy plays a huge role in their expansion. They charge a lower franchising fee, which makes it accessible to small business owners. I was able to find a breakdown of costs on the Mixue Malaysia website. They estimate that it costs 300,000 Malaysian ringgits to start a franchise. That's less than 73,000 US. Let's compare the starting costs of a KFC. According to Franchise Info Asia, you're looking at 350 to 700,000 US dollars. I mean, just the franchising fee alone, Mixue is 14,000 a year versus KFC's 150 to 200,000 ringgit. That's about 3,400 versus around 40,000. But that startup cost is a bit deceptive because for KFC it's a one-time payment, but for Mixue it's a yearly fee. Still, it would take over 12 years of operation before the KFC is a better deal. Mixue is just way less expensive to start up and it's less of a risk, and retention rates of Mixue's franchises are very high at around 97%. Retail sales were 58.3 billion last year, up 21.7% from the previous year. Profits are going up, but the equipment costs are actually going down, which means it's becoming even cheaper to open a store. In 2018, Mixue introduced its mascot, a snowman called Xue Wang, which is Chinese for Snow King. Look at this guy. He's adorable. And apparently great at his job, he started a music festival, he released merchandise, and in 2001 he released a song that ended up going viral, hitting 9.5 billion views. This song was huge for Mixue. You can imagine little kids listening to the song on repeat and yelling at their parents for Mixue's delicious ice cream.
I love you, you love me, Mixue ice cream and tea.
The Snow King song led to an animated series for the character, which I have to admit goes pretty well with a sneaky puff and a strawberry milkshake. And then I saw this on their website.
Mixue commitment to integrity. We have a strict zero-tolerance policy toward any actions that harm the company's reputation or interests.
If I say anything bad about Mixue, what's gonna happen?
You talk shit about me and I'll stick an ice cream cone up your...
On March 3rd, 2025, Mixue went public on the Hong Kong Stock Exchange, and its shares surged by over 40% on the first day of trading. They just opened their first location in Kazakhstan, and there's rumors of further expansion into other countries. New York, we're coming for ya, but also rumors of them expanding their menu to include small breakfast items. I drove past a bunch of Mixue stores in Phnom Penh to see if they were actually busy, and I found that they're a pretty popular place here in Cambodia. So it looks like Mixue is going to be holding on to this title for a while, spreading diabetes throughout the Kingdom of Wonder. No, I mean it's great. I love it. Did I say diabetes? I meant you can't beat their teas.
Don't get blinded by the media. I'd rather be myself. Take flight, got a speedy on speed dial. And meanwhile, my dream right beside me with a smile. She like Destiny Child.